Work.
Right.
See? You should have let it go when I started. There you go.
2, 1.
Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
What's going on, fellas? Welcome once again to another episode of the Sports Nerds. I am the Sports Nerd, Mr. Scott Wright, and of course, with the coat, I got the usual suspects for my co-host tonight, Mr. Ken Koslow, Mr. Elliot Big E Lama, and Mr. John G. Olson. We are here for 90 minutes.
Mr. Part-timer.
Yeah, part-timer. Who's the part-timer? Yeah,
John.
Well, yeah. Well, dude, I'm like
He's in transition. I get it.
I mean, I will be back to normal as soon as this.
As soon as your transitional period comes to a close, right?
Yeah, my transitional period. Sounds like I'm having a sex change or something. Huh? The transition.
He'll be coming out of that closet behind him.
Yeah. Out of the closet. Fun fact: there is no closets in the new house we're going to.
Oh no!
Really?
Right.
Uh-oh.
Well, we're buying a house that's like, it's like from the 60s. So like in the 60s, they didn't really have closets. It was kind of, you had one pair of pants and one shirt.
Right.
Hey, I understand your plight, okay, because I've got the same issue. I had to buy those rack closets to put out in the hallway.
That's
So
what
we can have places to hang our clothes.
I got that too.
Yeah, my
wife.
and
We got 2 bedrooms that don't have a closet at all. You know what I'm saying? So
that's 2 out of the 3 bedrooms that is in this house don't have a closet at all.
I can feel your pain.
Yeah. But it is what it is. We're improvising.
We're going to have to build one, John.
Yeah, don't worry, man. We're good, man.
You're going to be a carpenter again and start building stuff.
Bro, I put together we went and got a play set for my kid, one of those big wooden jobs for my kids. So it's got a little tree house and a swing set and the whole 9.
Yeah.
I put that together, man.
There you go.
There you go, right? I'm thrifty. Anyways. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Golf clap.
Yeah. I got a rant. Can I start the show off with a rant?
Start the show
You
with
go
your rant.
right ahead and rant your ass off.
Okay, right here. Right?
Cell phone.
Look,
Cell phone. I got
Can you
one.
tell the difference? No, you can't. This is an iPhone XR, 4 years old. This is the brand new iPhone 13. Now, quick story. Where I'm living, they don't really have good 4G, but 5G is actually covered. The iPhone XRs, it's an LTE phone. There's no 5G for it, so I had to upgrade. I didn't want to upgrade because to me, there's nothing other than it's got a better camera. Like nothing really. Okay. I sound like Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon right now.
Okay, Leo gets.
Leo gets.
Whatever Leo wants, Leo gets.
Whatever Leo wants, Leo gets. So I'll be the good husband. I'll go on Friday. I'll say, listen, we need to get these phones. Can we upgrade? Yeah, you've been a customer of ours for 10 years, no problem. So I'd go to the local Best Buy. The process is seamless. Totally seamless. Buy it. Brand new iPhone 13, not the Max or the Pro. This is the iPhone 13. Great. All I needed was 5G. I got it. My wife isn't happy. She wanted the iPhone 13 Pro, which is $20 extra a month, and it's whatever. It's got 3 stupid camera lenses instead of 2.
Yeah.
Not same processor, same everything. So I'm like, okay, begrudgingly, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go and I'll get the bro.
How many extra hundreds of dollars is it?
Oh, well, it costs more money, and we didn't get any of the deals that we got. We had to re-up our contract, the whole 9. But dude, I literally showed up at Best Buy at 10 in the morning. I got through the return and upgrade 3 and a half hours later.
Wow.
Just to literally do this. I don't want this. We bought it 36 hours ago. We just want to pay more to get this. You'd think it's just like,
They
okay,
have
sure.
5G access.
No, it's got 5G. They all got 5G. Her phone's got 3 camera thingies though. Not
she wanted
2.
the 3. She wanted the slow motion camera in there or
Just
something.
the
like that.
whatever it is.
I have no
don't
idea
even
what
know.
those 3 lenses do, but you know what?
Bro.
I have a Motorola,
One's
okay,
telephoto, I
and
think.
it has 3 lenses and a flash in the back. And I've used the camera maybe twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so like
Just remember, it's called Best Buy and not Best Service.
Yeah.
dude, it's like, I told the lady when everything was said and done, because it was starting to get heated. Like they had like 4 people trying to figure this out, and I was like, "Listen, here's the scoop, lady. When I'm coming in, just say, hey, if the returns, if you knew this was going to take time, just tell people from the get go, this is going to take some time."
How many Best Buy agents does it take?
4 of them, bro. 4 of them at the cash register trying to do this today.
And what kind of light bulb is it?
Anyways, that's my rant. So buy a phone, no problem. Best Buy, great service, fantastic. Returning a phone?
Not so
I
much.
had the same issue with track phone. I was using track phone for a while because I wasn't happy with Spectrum. All right. Then track phone sends this message: we are revamping our system, therefore
Right.
your phones are not going to work on the new system come February.
Yeah.
Right. So it's August, and I'm like looking at the phones that they're offering, and I'm like, that stuff's garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fucking buy no garbage. So I have to turn around and go to T-Mobile, because T-Mobile gives you the best deal. They have that Magenta Max or whatever, which, by the way, was a gift because they offered free MLB.TV for the entire season.
Didn't get the same deal. It doesn't work.
That's what I'm getting.
And that shit costs money, dude. That shit costs money for you to subscribe. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, I wound up me and my son got a Motorola. Crystal got another Samsung. She got something like an A42 or some shit like that. She used to have the Samsung S10. All right. Very happy with that phone. But because it didn't work on the new system, she had to switch. Well, from time to time, that new phone doesn't connect to the fucking internet while she's out and about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, again, all these services disrupting, making changes, upgrading this, outdating that. And it's the consumer that goes to, you wind up wanting to go to a fucking loony bin when you're fucking done because it drives you fucking nuts.
Yep. Yeah, it does.
What were the days when it was simple? Hey, here's a phone. It's activated. Goodbye. Now you got to go through this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? Auto pay so you can get less money, pay less money and so on and so forth. Yeah. I'm happy with T-Mobile. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I've been with T-Mobile for years. I'm happy with it too.
But, the prices are a little outrageous. I get that. But here's the thing. T-Mobile, like I said, they have their perks. Everybody in my family had T-Mobile forever. I just never switched to T-Mobile and finally did. So, well, yeah, Brett, you're right. People do want a mini computer as their phone, but you know what? That's because the companies are putting them out that way.
Yep.
They put out these big ass fucking screens. You might as well be having a mini fucking tablet, basically, because that's where they're starting to go. And it's like. Yeah. I can understand your wife's plight as far as wanting a third camera lens or whatever, but I just don't see the justification behind the difference in the price over one lens.
There isn't. Like this phone, bro, is the exact same dimension. It's the same weight. It's the same memory chip. Mm-hmm. It's the same everything. 128 gigs, everything. It's the stupid camera. That's it.
And what is the third lens for?
This is the thing, right? What are you, a professional photographer? Like, no, we're not. We take pictures of our kids and our freaking dogs. I mean, whatever.
Well, it's the commercials that they put out there, like that guy that supposedly films himself to make movies and so on and so forth. You know, when they sell like the flip phone, they show some girl dancing with a bunch of people behind her, but she's actually just dreaming and shit.
Bro, this is what we come with. It's like we have one lens on this one.
Yeah,
like,
that's how it all started.
Yeah,
that's how it all started.
Whatever. Anyways, thank you for listening to my rant. Sorry,
Look,
guys.
the only reason I got these phones is because they were free. Okay, you give me free phone, we can do business. I'm not paying no $1,000, $2,000 for a fucking iPhone or a Samsung as this, as that, or the other. You know what I'm saying? That's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, thus ends the consumer products
consumer
Motorola retail $265. I got it for free. It works just fine.
Thus ends the consumer products segment of the show.
Hey, you know what? It's called time filling.
Yes, and we need plenty of that because there's not a whole lot going on, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. Let's start out with the elephant in the room once again. I made a blog post this week.
Oh,
about Deshaun Watson?
No, Deshaun? Are we on Deshaun?
Yeah, we're on Deshaun.
Sure, Facebook user. Sounds good.
Yeah, what about TV's Facebook user?
Who is that? Hang on a second. That's Clarky. Clarky, you got to reconnect yourself. Hang on a second. Let me get the link for you.
Clarky's discombobulated after Golden State came back and whooped the
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that. Clarky, let's get you reconnected to Restream.
Talking that smack.
We can now link and get your ID relinked, Clarky.
Steph licked their ass up.
Yep. So yeah,
well, that was because I put out the thing where it said that Deshaun Watson, if they void his contract, first of all, they can't. And Clark pointed out that they can't get all those draft picks back.
No, they can't, but they can still void the contract. Yes.
How do you justify? I mean, how do you?
You don't.
As Baker Mayfield, how do I justify to myself that I should go back to play for that team with all the disrespect?
No, he won't. He's already been excused from mandatory minicamp, so he'll not be.
So who's your backup again?
Jacoby Brissett.
There you go.
We took Case Keenum from you, so yeah.
You might have to go with Jacoby Brissett, dude.
But I want to know, because you said this a couple of months ago, and then you said it again this week. Like you said, your fandom. So are you really done with the Browns? Like, are you done?
As long as Deshaun Watson is on the roster and is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, I will be a neutral NFL fan.
Neutral.
In other words, he'll be rooting for Tampa temporarily. Interim.
No,
that's his interim team.
I'm just going to be a fan of the game. I'm going to be a fan of the league.
3 hours to the east, man. There's your team, bro.
You see, you and one of my coworkers are the same thing. Tell me to jump on the bandwagon. He tells me, because he's a Bucs fan, to jump back on the Bucs bandwagon, and you're telling me to jump on the Bills bandwagon. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's
Hey, Jamal, what's up, buddy?
No?
Hey, Jamal.
You don't think so?
No,
don't think it's
I'm not going to jump on any bandwagon. But if for some reason, oh no, Brett, one thing I'm not going to do is go to the Bengals. No, thank you.
So Deshaun Cosby, let's get back to him.
Deshaun Cosby, yes. It came out this week that now there are 66 supposed women that are out there.
And a 24th.
And now there are 24 cases against him. And the details coming out get worse and worse and worse as time goes by.
The organization condoned it. They supported it.
The Houston organization.
They financially backed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They knew about this, right? Like, it wasn't like
they arranged it, John. They didn't just know about it. They arranged the meetings.
And the Texans
here was their interview and their background check. Did you do this? No. All right, here's $230 million. Come play.
Come throw balls. Oh man. You can't.
It's embarrassing for ownership. It's embarrassing for Andrew Barry, Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski, and the whole organization. It's just a big fat.
They're backed up against a wall, and now the reason they can't and they have to avoid letting him go is because they need to save face. Okay, that's the only reason, if any, that they would just go right through with it and let him stay. But here's the thing:
how do they save face by doing that?
The NFL ain't done with him.
No,
and with all the new shit coming out, it may be the NFL that becomes the demise of Deshaun Cosby.
Deshaun Cosby. I like that, Tim. I like that phrase.
Deshaun Cosby, that's good.
Yes, the Texans were in on it. They arranged the meetings with the chiropractors, the massage therapists.
And they swept it all under the table.
Yep. His lawyer is just not helping his case whatsoever with this
co-conspirators.
Yep. So I mean, I can't root for a franchise.
Okay, so Scott, is this not par for the course for Cleveland?
Well, you know what? I said this to somebody else this week. It's par for the course because whatever can go wrong in Cleveland has gone wrong for Cleveland over the last 20 years. It's that simple. Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong, and that's just one more nail in the coffin of the Cleveland Browns and their.
Well, the newest version of the Cleveland Browns is more like it because the old one didn't have all this scandal.
No, they didn't.
This one does.
No,
you know what I'm saying? The only scandal they had was that they packed up and moved to Baltimore. That was the biggest scandal of that Cleveland Browns.
Well, that was all Art Modell. That wasn't necessarily the franchise itself.
He owned the organization.
Yeah. You know Clarky, as much as I'd like to see it, it's not going to happen. I think they've burned their bridge with Baker Mayfield. He's going to go somewhere else.
I don't think Baker Mayfield should bend over like that and after he took all that abuse, you know what I'm saying? Oh, now you want me back because you can't have the rapist? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I would lose total. I mean, I don't respect Baker Mayfield to begin with, but I would lose total respect for that guy if he succumbed to just acquiescing a fucking brutal behavior by the football.
Acquiescing. That's a pretty good word. That's a Scrabble word for sure.
That is. That's 19 points right there.
That's right.
Man, I don't.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, that's like saying it's okay to bend me over with no Vaseline, and I'll just take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just not. Baker, have some respect for yourself if they even think about coming to you and saying, "We need you now."
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he's done.
I don't think so either.
Latest rumor is he's going to Seattle.
Jimmy G ought
to go to Seattle.
I don't think Jimmy G. Well, I don't think that the Niners will deal Jimmy G to within the division.
No, they won't.
I really don't.
No more than the Browns would trade Baker to.
As a matter of fact, I believe that if they're going to trade Jimmy D, they're going to trade him to the other conference. Okay.
People have been talking about a Baker for Jimmy G swap straight up, and that's I don't know what's going to happen either.
Oh, please no. Yeah. I don't need Baker in 49er land. No, I'd rather have Trey Lance.
You don't want him moving lock, stock, and barrel into Levi's Stadium?
No, not at all. I don't even want him in a pair of Levi's jeans, yo.
I love not having quarterback controversy. I don't know about you, Ken, but this is great. It's very
Well, did you hear the story about Ryan Fitzpatrick retiring because he didn't want to back up Josh Allen? Because throughout his whole career, he's wound up being a starting quarterback.
Oh yeah. Because
they want to curse Josh Allen.
He was behind, got hurt.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to risk Josh Allen getting injured.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, for him to become the starting quarterback.
because Fitzy's going to retire a Bill.
It's
He'll
a track.
sign a one-day
It's a
contract.
track record thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I thought it was hilarious when I heard about it. You know, I don't know what back up Josh Allen because then he'll get injured. You know, totally a Fitzmagic way of looking at things.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
But
So yeah, it's it is what it is, and I'm just done. I can't do
well,
it.
and you know me, Scott. Come on. I'm not really huge with the 49ers, and I hadn't been for a while, up until they made the Super Bowl, they played well last year, so on and so forth, or whatever. But I was put in a position where, hey, who's your team? And that's who my team is.
Yeah.
But you know that first and foremost, I'm a fantasy football player.
Right.
So I don't care to really support any one team because I'm more in support of players, not teams.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
It's so interesting. I'm the complete opposite. Like I love fantasy football, but I remember my buddies would like send me a text like during a Bills game and the Bills are losing, and I'd be like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. You're winning this fantasy. I'm like, I don't care. The Bills are losing. That's what matters.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that I can't. The problem for me is that I can't draft any 49ers because I'm afraid that they'll let me down. And I can't.
Yeah.
And then I have to go up against 49ers and get personal about them beating me.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just be neutral and leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
It's tough when you're playing against someone's playing. You got Josh Allen in the game.
It's tough when you're sitting there and Deebo Samuels is lighting your fucking team up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That's why
What are you going to say, Ken?
I made a point to stay away from the Cowboys as far as fantasy games go, because
Well, these days, sure. I think the only logical fantasy pick off the Cowboys, honestly, is Dak Prescott. Because he puts up ridiculous numbers, even though but they wind up losing anyway. But he puts up ridiculous fantasy numbers.
Yes, I'd go
From
Tony
a fantasy
Pollard.
perspective, yeah. But Ezekiel Elliott, he doesn't even deserve to be drafted in any round these days.
I wouldn't stay as far away from Zeke.
I bet you Jamal would still draft him.
But I remember when Ezekiel Elliott was like top 5. Remember? Just a few years ago. And it all happened after his contract. After that contract, after he hijacked the Cowboys from Cabo, he was in Cabo. Was he in Cabo or Cancun?
Somewhere, and he like ripped the girl's shirt off. Remember that?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Mexico. Yeah.
Cabo.
And I'm sorry, but
He should have been paid in Mexican
performance went
pesos.
downhill after that.
Yeah.
And that's just karma. That's just karma playing its role.
He should have been paid in Mexican pesos.
Running backs need like ego checks like as soon as they get into the league, because bro, you sprain your ankle, you're done. Like you're gone because there's depth. Like there's guys 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks that are ready to just take your spot.
Yeah. Who else do they have? Who else do the Cowboys have besides CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb.
Besides CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, okay.
Tony
because
Pollard.
if they don't have a good supporting wide receiver group, CeeDee Lamb's going to get all kinds of double coverage, triple coverage. And, they're going to look to shut his ass down, and that could be a fantasy nightmare.
Could be.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's a real possibility.
I'm not convinced that – I'm as convinced that CeeDee Lamb will be a fantasy stud as I'm convinced that the Celtics will win the NBA championship. I'm not.
Yeah.
They had
that's why they're pushing hard to
and they blew
re-sign Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is going to be a big fantasy, especially in the red zone.
There's going to be a lot of there's going to be
favorite targets in the red zone.
Well, we all know the complimentary Cooper Kupp's going to be a fantasy stud.
Oh yeah,
okay? Because him and Stafford, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
James Washington, what the hell did he do for Pittsburgh? He didn't do shit in Pittsburgh. What's he going to fucking do in Dallas?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
as far as Michael Gallup, he's coming back from an ACL tear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can't count on him being what he used to be. You know what I'm saying? And with no running game,
Scout's going to be one of
passing
your
game is going to suffer.
Michael
That's-
Scout's going to
that's
be
just
one
the
of
way
your WR4s.
So
He's
we'll
going to be
see.
a 1 or a 2.
We'll see. And you know what? Even more so, I say Dak Prescott would be a good fantasy value at quarterback because with that running game, he's going to be throwing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott ain't going to get it done.
Well, Pollard was a better back last year anyway.
Pollard's a better back.
Yeah.
Well, he is, but can he take the full-time role is the question. See, he's always been a complimentary piece.
He did while Zeke was hurt.
Yep.
He looked
Right,
good.
but it's different doing it when somebody's hurt and doing it when it's you. You are the guy.
Yeah. I'm going to bring Ron up. He's in the green room, guys. Hang on.
Okay.
Mr. Ron Gallo in the house.
Mr. Gallo!
Hello, gentlemen. How's everybody?
Oh, I'm
Just
good,
Hey,
Ron.
hey,
I'm
speaking
real
of
good.
Gallo, newsflash, Joey Gallo didn't strike out today.
Yeah.
He was on the bench. He was on the bench.
What, did he not play? Is that why?
Not play.
No, he walked twice and got 2 hits, couple of runs, RBI.
God, you won 18-4. What happened?
18-4, man. You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that Scooter's no longer here because he would have had a tough time dealing with me and his Cubs over this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
We
Ron, how you doing, man?
I'm doing
put it
good.
to the Cubs.
I just want to say hello to Jamal. I tried typing it out, but I don't know if the message
That's
went
because
through.
you're in the private chat. You're not in the
It
actual
came up
chat.
in the private chat.
Yeah.
Right.
Only you, only us, only we can see that.
Yeah,
No,
you'd have to
no
go
worries.
you'd have to actually go to Facebook and type it in.
Yes.
I
Sorry
see
about
how
that.
that works.
Or
now.
just
All
tell him
right,
right
no,
there.
It's all
Swiss
good.
green.
It's all good. It's all good.
So let's start with some let's get some hockey in here.
Hockey.
My
Jump right in, yeah,
condolences
before John takes off.
my condolences to the Edmonton Oilers and their fans for
Yeah, that was last week.
to Colorado.
Dude, we're good. We're okay. Trust me. Oilers fans are not sitting there whining. Final Four, man. We're good. It's just the off season. Now it comes the off season. You know, like what?
I'll tell you what. Realistically, last Sunday, did anybody on this panel believe that Edmonton was going to come back and win?
Colorado is superior on all facets of the game. Man. Like,
Exactly.
It's not even close. So,
Yep.
you know.
So
Yep.
It's just bizarre. I mean, it's you got to look at the shutdown lines, and I mean, one of them came to light in with Tampa Bay for sure. But you think about Colorado to contain McDavid and Draisaitl, and it's just that's a huge task. And now you're going to have two teams that figured it out for the East and for the West, and they're going to have to try and figure out how to shut down lines again now on teams that they haven't seen very often. But what's interesting is Anthony Cirelli has probably had the hardest task, the entire postseason with the players that he's had to shut down, the likes of Austin Matthews, shut down Zibanejad and Rangers, and he was able to get the job. Doesn't get points for any of that, but he kept the top guns, the top lines of the opposition off the board, and that gave an opportunity for Tampa Bay to go ahead and essentially they went 4-0. I mean, you write off the first 2 games that they lost in New York, and they go 4-0.
let me just interject for 1 second. Okay, to me, the biggest numbers in this series were in that series were 2-0.
Wow.
Because the Rangers had a 2-0 series lead. They had a 2-0 lead in game 3, and then the wheels fell off.
Dude,
Okay,
that's
they scored 11 goals in the first 7 periods.
And
They
then,
scored a total of 4 after
4.
that.
Yeah. That's the most dangerous lead in hockey is a 2-goal lead, man. That's
always.
always.
So
Hockey is hockey.
2-0 and 2-0, those numbers were the death of the New York Rangers. Because once Tampa came back off that 2-0 deficit in game 3,
They got a good sucker punch in though.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that. I saw the replay, and again, being the New Yorker that I am, okay, I don't condone what the guy did.
There's a button in there
Dude,
somewhere.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
There's a button
Wait
in
a
there
second.
somewhere.
And I applaud the New York Rangers for banning the guy from Madison Square Garden for a lifetime.
For life.
Okay, lifetime ban from attending any events at Madison Square Garden. All right. And of course, law enforcement for taking him into custody
Right.
and dealing with it. But
Here we go. Here's the butt. Here's the butt.
it is almost idiotic for a person to believe that they can walk through Madison Square Garden around a bunch of New Yorkers talking trash the way this guy was and not expect to get knocked the fuck out.
We didn't see enough of the video beforehand, but we saw enough.
He was
just
boasting.
before.
You can see
Absolutely.
he was walking and boasting.
Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing
And
with
the
that.
guy
I'm
just
saying,
turned around and gave him a New York welcome, a New York
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden welcome to shit town. Okay,
yeah.
you talk shit in New York, you get dealt with.
Dude, that's like people always like, how come you don't go like when the Bills play in Seattle? Why don't you go there? Because I'm not an idiot. Because I will wear Bills gear and I know what that you can't go to like the Dodgers game and wear like
San Francisco stuff.
San Francisco Giants stuff. Like you can't do it. It's just
Some
common
guy
sense.
got beat. Some guy got beat down 10 years ago.
Got
or
killed, bro. Like, and this is like, oh, it only happens in soccer. No.
But here's the thing: it's not so bad that you wear the stuff, but then
Then you smack talk.
after a devastating loss, you're walking down the fucking runway at Madison Square Garden with a Lightning shirt on, talking this trash, okay? And one New Yorker just took it to the next level.
See, that's where I love the rivalry between New York and Philadelphia, because I've seen times where the Flyers fans are
New
doing
York,
that.
Boston, dude. Don't come to fucking New York in Yankee Stadium wearing Boston shit. And it's the same way with the Yankee fans going to Boston, okay?
Yeah.
And then after a win on the road, you start walking down the runways out of the stadium talking trash.
But hey,
Because you're asking for an
Philadelphia's
asshole.
worse than Boston, though.
You're
Philadelphia,
asking
they
for
will give it back
course,
to you.
man. Come on.
I've seen brawls at Madison Square Garden between
Philadelphia
Flyers and
fans-
Ranger fans.
Philadelphia
Yeah,
fans
upper deck.
bombarded. Philadelphia fans bombarded Santa Claus with snowballs.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
that's
talk-
as bad as it gets.
Philadelphia fans will talk shit to you, and they expect to get it back.
And they
And
had
they
a
don't have
jail,
any
and
problems
they
giving
also had
it back physically, too.
they
And
also had
that
a jail on
goes
the
all the
bottom
way
of Vet
back.
Stadium.
That's
So
not
that
just with
tells
the
you everything
Eagles.
right there.
That's not just with the Eagles. That goes back to the Flyers of the
That's what I'm
Broad Street
saying.
Bully days. Okay, that
Yep.
goes back to the old Red Sox Yankees in the 70s.
Mhm.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Those rivalries, and the thing is that now, if you think about it, Tampa and the Rangers is developing into some sort of a rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
At this time of the year,
They're
it's
not in the
always a
same
rivalry.
division,
No,
but
at this time of
they
the year,
have
it's
the
always a
two. They have
rivalry.
the two best goalies in hockey.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. You're
I
talking
worry
about
about
right.
for next season. I really do. You know, I'm not saying it's one and done. I do just worry a little bit about Igor next season being able to continue this trend. He's a 3-year goaltender, and this is the first year he's kind of made a name for himself.
Yeah.
See if he can keep it going.
Hey, Clarky. One thing about Boston fans is they respect Yankee legends. So if you're wearing a Mantle shirt, you're safe.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's a good point. But yeah, I mean, and again, Ron, I did not watch any of the games because I'm so nervous I'm going to play like crap if I watch them on TV. But as far as the finals are concerned, yes, I'm going to watch because it's going to be an interesting finals, I think.
Okay, so here's something for you. When you bring up the finals, let's talk a little bit about the schedule because it makes
How many
no sense
periods were
once
there?
again.
How many periods were there in that series? 3 times 6, 18, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's no overtime.
Okay. The first 7 belong to the Rangers. The last 11 belong to Tampa.
Right.
That's what it all came down to.
Without question.
Okay.
I mean,
When Vasilevsky gave up 11 goals in 3 periods, he turned around and shut them down for 4 goals in 11 periods. And that's just the championship pedigree. They knew what they had to do to get back in that series and take total control. The Rangers
okay,
didn't
there's a
have
couple things. There's a couple of things that you guys may have seen, may not have seen, but in game 2, Paul's name Paul for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nick Paul or whatever. Anyways, he's being interviewed on French television, and he's answering a question. And John Cooper walks by, yells out his name, and says, "Get in the dressing room." That's it. That's it. It was shut down. That interview was over. That was done. It was all business. But afterwards, John Cooper says, and it's so true, this team doesn't get nervous.
Oh.
There's no point in getting nervous. We've been here. We've done that. And they've now won, what is it?
11
18
straight series.
Yeah, 11 straight series. You know, they get 12. They've got their three-peat.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
Colorado's going to be a whole different animal to deal with. For them.
The problem that I have with Colorado is the same thing with New York, in that they haven't been here in 21 years. They want, but they don't know how to get it. So there is a difference between wanting it and knowing how to get it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so we're going to see, but I was going to touch on the schedule. Okay, here you got a West Coast and an East Coast team. Colorado, not quite West Coast, but close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. They're in the mountain time zone, so, yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah,
Close enough.
okay. And they got to travel back and forth to Tampa Bay, okay? You would think be 2 days apart like all the rest, but 3 would be 3 days apart. Guess what?
No.
Game 1 is on Wednesday. Game 2 is on Saturday.
Friday.
3 days
Saturday?
later. Saturday, 3 days later.
Yeah.
And then Monday they play in Tampa Bay 2 days later. So the teams have to travel on Sunday and get ready for Monday's game. Why? Why would they do that? Why not have Game 1 on the 15th, Game 2 on the 17th, allow the teams to have 2 days, the 18th and the 19th, to travel and play Game 3 on the 20th.
Here's
I
my
can explain
question.
that,
Here's
Ron.
my question. When is Game 6 of the NBA Finals? Friday.
I don't
Monday.
think the NBA has any
Monday.
relevance on this.
Or Game 7 would be on Friday, I think. Okay. So hockey's not gonna put Game 2 of that series
Against the NBA?
up against the NBA.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is
Started on Tuesday and play Thursday.
It's
Tuesday,
all
Thursday
regional
in Colorado.
contracts, and then like Ken said.
Yeah, it's all about the TV.
TV.
It's all about the TV. Yeah, like Ken said. The thing that concerns me about that, though, is yes, they go back and they play 2 games in Colorado, and then they play 2 games in Tampa, and then they alternate through Game 7. The altitude is going to affect Tampa.
yes.
Okay.
The altitude
right now,
affects
the NBA
anybody
has a
that goes
Thursday.
there. Any
Yeah, but it
sport.
won't affect Colorado as much as it will the Lightning.
Actually, I don't buy that, because a lot of times going from West Coast to East Coast is just as taxing to the West Coast team because of the time change.
It's more so.
And as opposed to the elevation. Although, as I said, it doesn't matter what sport it is in Colorado. As a visiting team, you go in with a slight disadvantage
Because of the altitude, yeah.
because of the altitude.
As far as I remember, Colorado's never lost a Stanley Cup final, have they?
Why do you think the NFL teams do so poorly when they travel to the East Coast? Because of the time change. Phillip Rivers had the worst freaking record when he played on the East Coast.
Yeah.
The
You know what I'm
time change is bizarre for a West Coast person. I'm a
Well,
West
you
Coast
think
person.
about it. If the
You
game
gotta
starts
go-
at 8:00, that's 5:00 where you're from.
Your body is used to eating dinner or eating pregame meal or doing this or doing that. Yeah, 100%.
See, there's not a change. Anytime you change time zones, and like Ron said, if you're used to eating dinner at 5, and according to your biological makeup, you're supposed to be eating dinner when this game is starting, that's going to affect you. It's even like the sleep thing. It's going to affect you. You know what I'm saying? The time change will affect you. There's ways around the altitude thing. Just have more oxygen in your body.
Well,
You know what I mean? Extra oxygen tanks.
Can you confirm that, Ron? Has
What do you
Colorado
want me
ever
to
lost the
confirm?
Stanley Cup Final?
well, they haven't played in very many. They've only played in
I
two.
know, but
I don't think they have. I
don't think they have. I think they won both of them. I know they
Yeah.
beat Florida one year, and the other one was against New Jersey or who was Boston?
I think it was Jersey, yeah.
The Jersey. Okay.
No, the reason why you're thinking Boston is because Ray Bork left Boston.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right.
The only way that Colorado has the best chance to win this series, and I'm not saying that it would be definite if they did this, they have to win the first 2 games at home. Plain and simple.
Will.
If they split with Tampa in the first 2 games, that series will be over in 5 or 6.
Yeah, I can see this series being over in 6 no matter what, but I agree to Colorado winning both in Colorado and sprints in Tampa Bay to win it in Game 5 back home,
right?
Or it'll have to be squeezed out to Game 6 in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they can't do what the Rangers did because the Rangers, what they needed to do to save themselves was split in Tampa, and they couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, they needed one of those. They absolutely, and to score. What did they do? Did they tie it up and then Tampa Bay?
Yeah, they went up. They tied it at 1 in Game 6.
Right.
And then Tampa Bay came back and scored pretty much right away.
But they did that. Tampa Bay did that basically 3 games in a row.
Right.
They scored in the dying minutes to win it.
Except for Game,
which is their MO.
Except
they do
for
that
Game
a lot.
4 when they won 4-1. That game wasn't even.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even think the Rangers were in that game.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Anyway,
the turning point was when they gave up the lead late in the game in Game 5.
In Game 3.
Well, look, here's the turn. Here's what I believe.
5.
Here's what I believe. It's kind of like what happened to Florida. When Florida lost their series against Tampa, it was that goal with 0.9 seconds left in the game that started there. I mean, that pretty much sealed their fate. Okay. In Game 3, it was that late goal by what's his name? Palat?
Andre Palat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not
that
he
late
gets
goal.
Credited for the goal. He gets credited for the goal, but let's be honest, it went off of his butt.
He went off his shins. He went off his shins.
Whatever. I'm just saying the timing of the score that kind of deflates a team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, without question, because they're in overtime mode. They just want to get to the dressing room and get this over. Next thing you know, they're down a goal. They got to pull a goaltender. They got to change, and it's a cluster.
Mm-hmm. So the Rangers got killed by just the same thing, late game goals. And that's pretty much what was the demise of Florida. I don't think Florida never recovered from that loss with 0.9 seconds left in their own arena. To top it all off.
Right.
So.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see my background.
You could feel the air. You could feel the air being sucked out of the whatever the name of the stadium is down there now.
What's the background? What's the background, Ron?
Obviously there's a Canadian in there, even though they're
no. Just slow down. It's Corey Perry. So Corey Perry makes it to the final, but loses out with the Dallas Stars to the Tampa Bay Lightning. gets traded to the Montreal Canadiens, makes it to the final, and loses out to Tampa Bay in 2021. And now
So
he's
you
signed
can't beat
with
him,
Tampa
join him,
Bay.
right?
You can't beat him, you join him. Corey Perry. That's
Oh, we
too
lost
funny.
Ken. We lost Ken.
So,
Ah,
any prognostications about this
He's
Tampa Colorado series?
you know what? Colorado had just two, and they threw 3 rounds and they got through Edmonton very quickly. But for me, it hasn't been super easy. I worry a little bit about Colorado being lined up against Tampa Bay. Game 1 is really, for me, going to tell the tale. But honestly,
didn't they tie the
whoever
record
wins,
Didn't they tie the record with the fewest losses to get to the finals?
there's
They
one
only
other
had 2
team.
losses.
Yeah,
They
Anna.
only- And what did Anaheim do? What did Anaheim do that year?
I think they lost.
They
the
lost.
finals.
Yeah, they
They
lost in the
lost.
finals. Yeah.
I don't
Why?
know.
Because the
Anaheim
road
never
to
winning
the road to get to the finals was too easy for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's.
But I'm going to
basically
say,
what happened with Colorado.
when you look at the numbers, yes, it's easy to say that this has been an easy road for the Colorado Avalanche. It hasn't, or else they've made it look tougher than it should have been. Even though they had the quick outs to the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think that this playoff round has done very many favors for the Colorado Avalanche. They are going to be in tough against the Tampa Bay Lightning, despite the fact that Tampa Bay Lightning have a few injured buddies.
Well, I got to push back a little bit on that because they basically shut down what John considers the 2 best hockey players on the planet
100%
over a 4-game stretch.
over a 4-game stretch. For me, I think it made things look a little bit tougher than they were. I don't think that they to their potential. I think that the Colorado Avalanche are in tough against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'd love to see Colorado win. Maybe because I still got a little bit of a sore spot for Corey Perry, or maybe it's Pat Maroon. I don't know, but it's not John Cooper.
Let me just put it to you this way. As far as I'm concerned, I can't stand the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, yeah, I want Colorado. Okay? And it has nothing to do with Scott's allegiance or anything of that nature, okay?
No,
you know what I'm
Don't we
saying?
do- Is it like we did the Islanders last year?
It's not because Scott tends to bloviate, okay, when his teams win. It's got nothing to do with that. Okay.
You look at Tampa Bay Lightning, and they've had to play some tough opponents. They've had to find a new level every round to get
the
through.
only team in Tampa that I accept somewhat is the Tampa Bay Bucks, because I can't stand the Lightning and I can't stand the Rays. Okay. And the Rays go without saying, they're in our division. They're technically in second place right now or something like that, 10 games behind or something.
That the Lightning beat the Islanders last year. Is that what it is?
Look, they successfully ousted 2 New York teams in back-to-back seasons. That doesn't fare well for them. Me being, somebody who's going to support them. Matter of fact, like I said, I don't condone what that guy did to that Tampa fan, but in a way, he kind of had it coming.
Yeah. So again, back to your prognostication, Ron. What do you think is going to happen in this series? Do you think the Bolts are going to take it again for 3 in a row, or do you think Montreal can pull out the ups? Actually, Montreal's not Montreal. I'm sorry, Colorado. Colorado's actually favored.
Did Montreal get the first pick in the draft?
Yes, they did.
Good for them, because they played a shit season this year.
Find a video of you. I need to find a video for you, rather. It's bizarre because Gary Bettman is the draft lottery, and he goes, "What? Montreal has first pick?" like it wasn't supposed to be. It's like so
He's an idiot.
Bizarre.
That's because he's an idiot.
It's so bizarre.
He's no better than Rob Manfred of the freaking of MLB. You know, the only legit commissioner in the 4 major sports to me is Adam Silver.
Yeah, he's done very well with the NBA.
Because he's done well with the NBA, and he's not really controversial at all.
No.
To be honest with you, everywhere else you got controversy. Baseball, hockey, football with Goodell.
Yep.
You know, their commissioners draw way too much negative attention. That's why I say Adam Silver is the best commissioner in all of major sports. Period.
Maybe it's because he keeps a lid on stuff. I don't know. But anyways, I hate to say it. I mean, on paper, you look at the regular season. The regular season means nothing in the postseason. The Tampa Bay Lightning have had to go in as the lower seed team throughout the postseason here, and now they're doing it.
Lower seed, yeah.
And now they're doing it again against the Colorado Avalanche. I just believe that the pressure's on Colorado, and I believe that the Tampa Bay, I mean, at the very least, they're going to get a split in Colorado, and I think that they're going to end up winning this one in 6 games.
And I don't really think that anybody in Colorado is going to sucker punch a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. So.
Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, I got to take off. I got to go
All right.
do some stuff. So,
Okay.
All right, John.
All right, John. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week when Tampa's up 3-0.
Please send video, dear Scott, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I will. Absolutely.
Dear sir. Okay,
Yes, I
bye,
will.
dear sir. Bye.
Dear sir.
See you, John.
All right, I probably got to get going here pretty quick too, but John seems a little quieter as usual today.
He's got so much going on in his mind.
He's
right now.
tired. He's in the process of relocating.
He's in the middle of a major move too, so that's probably why.
That takes a lot out of you.
It
takes
does.
a lot out of you.
It does.
And it just goes to tell you what we're talking about, the moving time zones. Not to
mention he had drastic mobile phone issues earlier.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. But like going back to that old story about having travel time zones, I think it's harder for a team to travel and their players to travel from the west to the east than it is to travel from the east to the west.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Quickly, Ron, was it the Islanders or the Oilers was the last team that three-peat?
You mean 4-peat? It was Edmonton.
Well, yeah, eventually 4-peat, you know. It was Edmonton?
It was and then the Oilers.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the 2 4-peat teams from the 1970s, right?
Well, 70s and 80s.
80s.
Yeah, Edmonton did it in
Montreal
the
also
80s.
won 4 in a row, I think.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
But yeah, it was Edmonton did it when they had Gretzky, so that would have been mid 80s.
Yeah,
Gretzky, Messier, all them guys.
Messier.
Yeah, Ron's favorite player, Mark
Ron's favorite player.
Ain't much of him, anyways. But, anyways, yeah, I was gonna say
That's
we got to step out too here.
All right, Ron.
Okay, Ron. We'll see you next week.
Good to see you.
Yeah, 3 games in. First game is on Wednesday, 8:00 in the east, 5:00 in the west, 6:00 in Colorado.
All right, Ron. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next Sunday.
All right, take care, gentlemen. Take
See
care,
you, Phil.
everybody.
You too.
Oh.
And then there were 3.
Then there were 3.
There were 3.
That's better. I like it better that way. I like the widescreen's better than the individual.
Yeah, I know, because it blocks your face.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Cubbies kind of put their foot in their mouth, didn't they, Elliot?
By doing what?
With that tweet, they put a tweet in about.
I missed it.
There was a tweet about the Yankees' lack of home runs. And then yesterday happened.
Yesterday they had 5.
Yeah.
They had like 2 or 3 more today.
Yep.
How do they translate that into lack of home runs if the Yankees lead the majors by a pretty good margin in total home runs this season? They had 88 before the game started on Saturday, and they had about 7 more. So they're approaching 100 home runs.
Yeah.
At the 50 game mark.
Well, there was a but they're probably talking about the fact that they hadn't been hitting a lot recently, the lack of offense
I bet you Aaron Judge has more home runs. I bet you Aaron Judge has more home runs than the Chicago Cubs do as a team.
Last night they said Aaron Judge is on pace to hit 66 this year.
Yeah, he's on pace to break Roger Maris's Yankee record. Yeah.
How many do you have today?
He didn't have one today. He had 2 yesterday.
Right.
But I mean, he's got 25, I think now.
Clarkie said 66 last night.
About 100 to go, something like that.
Yep.
I think, what are they? 40. They're 28 games over 500. If I'm not mistaken.
42 and.
Well, actually, they're
43,
I think. Hang on.
43 and 18.
They are 44 and 16.
44.
28 games over 500. They have an 8.5 game lead over the Blue Jays. They have the best run differential in baseball by 21 runs over the Dodgers, who are supposedly the best offensive team in baseball.
Right.
And not to mention that offense is killing shit. Okay. The pitching.
Staff.
180 runs allowed in the first 62 games. That's less than 3 runs a game. They had the best ERA in baseball. Okay. Stanton hit one yesterday. Yeah, it was a rocket.
Came up 120 miles back. Yeah.
They haven't found that one yet.
And I'm sorry, but right now the Yankees, they're reminding me a little bit of the 98 Yankees.
That's what I was about to say.
The ones that went 125 and 50
the
entire season, including postseason.
118 wins that year, 118 and 44.
116. They lost, I think it was
160.
14.
That's right. They were 116.
Because Seattle beat it a couple years later.
Seattle was 118.
Yeah. But
44.
regardless, they finished that season 125 and 50.
Yeah.
50 losses in an entire season plus the postseason. That's outrageous. But that's the pace that this team is on right now. They are just killing the baseball, and they are shutting teams. What the Cubs score this week? 5 runs in 3 games? And they want to talk shit about home runs?
Yeah. It was 18-4 today, 8-0 yesterday, and I don't know what Friday.
2-1 on Friday.
2-1. Yep, 5 runs.
Yeah, they lost on a base hit by Jose Trevino. Who? Jose Trevino.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who?
Anybody? You did, but that's just it. Here's the thing: when the Yankees did all that in the what was it? The late 90s? Was it the 90s? No, the late 90s.
Yeah, 98.
When they did it through those three-peat, it was the unknown guys that were coming up and winning big games. You know what I'm saying? They've already had, I think, the most comeback victories of anybody all season. And that's another ingredient that helped them to that spectacular season in 1998. And what, they have 1 loss in the entire playoffs?
Yeah, 11-1, I think.
Yeah.
They won 100.
This is killing him right now. I know it is.
Look,
they had 114 in regular season and 11 in the postseason.
If your recipe is having the best offense in baseball and the best pitching in baseball, chances are you're not going to lose very many games. Okay. Right now they have 3 less runs than the Mets. No, 5 less runs than the Mets. All right. And 2 less runs than the Dodgers. But the big difference is the pitching. The closest team to them as far as runs allowed on the season are the Dodgers by 23 runs. Okay. That's huge.
Mm.
And again, when you got all your facets
see
working,
another Subway for you?
It's possible. The way Showalter's got the Mets playing.
Yeah, Mets are up right now, 2-1 on the Angels right now. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but the Mets are not. They're not doing too bad.
They've had a bad West Coast swing. They're like 4 and 5.
They
on
have
West Coast
the
swing.
best record
Right.
in the National League,
Right.
and they have the second best record in baseball behind the Yankees. Okay.
Yep.
The biggest difference between the Yankees and the Mets is that the Mets can maintain on offense.
Yeah.
But they've given up 69 more runs than the Yankees have.
Mm.
Which
When
in
is
the
that
end,
first,
that's what makes the difference.
When is that first Mets Yankees series? Is it coming up this month or next month?
I would think it's in July.
July?
Let's see. Let me see if I can get that.
No.
Mets.
Angels finally broke it.
Did they?
They beat Sox last game of the series. I can't remember. I think they won one since then too.
Yeah, Joe Madden got fired, didn't he?
Madden got fired.
Yeah, I don't know if that was smart though. What do you think, Ken? I mean, Joe Madden's one of the best managers in baseball.
A friend
Hey,
of
when
mine,
your team loses 9 in a row, it's time. You know what I'm saying?
a friend of mine is working for the Angels right now, and Madden hired him.
Mhm.
And since Madden got fired, I don't know what Trey's status is right now, but I don't know. I mean, there was no indication I heard that they were unhappy with him, but they kind of. I was as surprised as anybody that they pulled the trigger. Especially, I could see it with Girardi, but not with Madden. And
Well, didn't the Angels courted Madden when he left Chicago, didn't he?
Exactly.
But here's the thing:
he's
Madden
a really popular manager.
Madden hasn't had the success that he had when he was in Tampa.
No.
Well, he did in
Nobody
Chicago because Chicago won a World Series under Madden, but that's
right. But okay, yeah, and Tampa won a World Series.
Nobody's had success with the
in a World
Angels.
Series.
They've had one of the best lineups in baseball for years and have nothing to prove for it. For it.
I mean, shoot.
So the Yankees and Mets play 4 games this year. Two games in Citi Field and 2 games at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
The first 2 games are at Citi Field on July 26th and 27th.
Okay.
And then the other 2 games are in August 22nd, 23rd at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little while before the Yankees and Mets hook up head to head.
Mm.
But I'm just surprised they only have 4 games, 2-2.
Yeah, well, that's the interleague thing.
Usually it's 3-3, but I guess now with all the stuff and whatnot,
right?
Well, they've increased the amount of the reason why it went down is because the Major League Baseball actually increased the number of interleague games.
Yeah,
everybody
so each team is going to play more interleague games against more different opponents.
Right. You're playing everybody in the league now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're
so
playing.
I get that.
So every team is going to play every team. Basically, is how it's going to work.
It was funny because I was peering, I was peering at the Yankee game today when they were up like 12-4 or something in that nature. It was the 7th inning, I think. And you know that what's his name? Beltran. He's one of the announcers now for the Yankees on the Yes Network. And they showed something that happened years ago on this day where the Mets second baseman Castillo had a pop-up that he dropped and the Mets won the game, and you could see the facial expression of Carlos Beltran when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Beltran, they were cracking up because Beltran actually recorded the segment and then texted it to Castillo. And then what you call it said, oh, he got a text back, but it's a voice text. So we're gonna have to scan that one first and edit it before we can air it out.
Yeah. And then the 7-second button on that one.
They put the dumb button on that one, that's for sure.
I got a question for you.
All right.
Baseball related.
Yeah,
Okay, Tony La Russa's place in Cooperstown is
God.
set in stone.
it's secure.
It's
God.
secured. But is he losing the plot? Is he losing the
He's
plot
losing
now?
some brain cells, I think, is what he's losing.
I don't think he has the managerial acumen that he had during the St.
Obviously.
Louis Cardinals days.
You don't walk a batter when when it's 1-2 in the count. I'm sorry. You just
One
And
and
I'm
two,
sorry,
in the
but-
count, 2 outs.
yeah.
But I'm
He's
sorry,
one strike away from getting out of the inning.
yeah.
no major insult intended, but he looks mummified these days as well.
He does. He does.
Okay. He looks like something from a zombie movie or
Yeah. And they're
Walking
calling
Dead.
the fans are calling for him to be fired.
Well, I mean,
This
the
is-
White
this-
Sox.
This is a guy
White
that
Sox-
managed. This is a guy that managed the Bash Brothers in the '80s
Yes.
Uh-huh.
with the A's.
Yes.
Okay, that's our.
Oh, by the way,
friend.
Matt
He was
Carpenter.
in the 80s. Yeah.
Matt Carpenter went off for 7 RBIs today. The former Cardinal.
Mm.
He had a couple dingers and drove in 7. And they said this is the second time in his career that he's done that, and the other time was against the Cubs when he played for St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Well, the thing is, he walks Turner and then brings up Muncy, and Muncy hits a 3-run home run that.
Did you see the look
In the
Muncy
final
gave?
lead.
Did you see the look that Muncy gave the White Sox?
Oh,
dugout?
he said something to him that they can't.
Yeah.
They said they can't show.
Yeah.
I'd love to see. It's probably "fuck you," but yeah, that was absolutely brain dead. What the
Yeah.
hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
And he's
I agree.
defending it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I said, his place in Hall of Fame is set in stone. But man alive, maybe it's
And the
time for
thing
him
is,
to hang it
the
up.
White Sox, as bad as we imagine that they're
That's
playing,
the thing, though. Reinsdorf has never fired him, so he's not. I'm not sure he's going to fire him now. But
they're in a weak division. They're only 6 games behind Minnesota.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
they were supposed to
To
be a
me-
contender this year.
to me, that division
Contender
is,
last year too, and they didn't make it.
I think both Central divisions are 2-team divisions. Or, you know what I'm
The
saying?
fighting Franconas,
Yep.
as Katie likes to call them.
But right now, it's like, I mean, to me, the best looking number is Boston, 12.5 games out.
No, you're loving that. You know, Ken,
Love it.
Ken is not liking it that much. I'm just telling you right now.
Well, I mean,
Love it.
AL East race is over. We're not going to touch that, so we're conceding that. We'd love to get in the wild card spot, so we're pretty good shape for that.
Well, yeah, you guys are
We'll take our
after your tough, you're 3 games over 500 right
Let's see. We were a wild card team in 2004, and
Was that
And you're
the year
actually
the Yankees
third.
out of the
now. And you're
NLCS?
actually third in the wild card race.
yeah,
Because right now, you got to imagine that the 2 wild cards are going to come out of the American League East.
yeah.
Plain and
There's
simple.
There's 3 wild card teams this year, though. There's 12. There's going to be 12 teams in the playoffs.
Well,
6
still.
in each league.
Still, right now, the 3
Yeah.
wild cards would be out of the American League East.
East, yeah.
Because no other team has as good a record as Toronto, Tampa, and Boston.
Right. So it'll be 4
I mean,
4 out of 5 from the East.
The
and
West
then
is like
Minnesota and Houston.
all teams in the West are under 500 except for Houston.
Houston's running away.
Yeah. they're-
Houston,
well,
Houston may be the last team the Yankees want to see because the Astros give the
I'm not
Yankees
sure.
fits all the
But you
time.
know what? Their pitching is pretty good, but their offense is not as great as it used to
Yeah,
be. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
as
They
good as
only
Houston.
we've got them outscored by 59
I
runs.
know. I saw that today.
Evaldi and Whitlock on the DL. Excuse me,
DL.
the IL. It's the
IL.
IL.
Yeah, IL.
Whatever.
It's politically correct. You know what I'm saying? You got to say IL. It's an injured
IL.
list, not a disabled list. It can't be the CL, the cripple list, or nothing like that.
Yeah, Evaldi's having back trouble. I know that. I don't know what the thing is with Whitlock, but
Well, that's good for the Yankees because they never play good against the
no. A lot of teams.
I think he has the Yankees number because the Yankees dumped his ass.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, right now, I
They're
mean,
saying
if the
Garrett
season was-
Whitlock. They're saying Garrett Whitlock has inflammation of his right hip. That's what's going on with him.
Gee, I know what that feels like.
Right?
I can sympathize with him on that. Shit.
Oh,
But yeah, the American League
You
West
do.
is all teams under 500, and there's really no team except for maybe the Guardians right now are in fourth place for
Indians.
the wild card.
They're now the Cleveland Indians.
Gindians.
The
You call them
Gindians?
The Gindians, yes.
The Gindians.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
That's why I like the fighting Franconas, Elliot.
Yeah.
That's why I like that.
Well, who's their manager now?
Gary Francona. That's why they call him
Gary
the
Francona,
fighting
Oh,
Franconas.
he's their manager again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, the Gindians ain't too bad, I guess. And then in the National League right now, you look at Atlanta starting to heat up. And that West Division.
My Steve Martin voice. Yeah, Clark, I actually heard it that way.
Yes.
The West is the 3-team race between the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Central's a 2-team race with Milwaukee and St. Louis, even though Milwaukee's gone on a 2-8 over the last 10 games.
St. Louis is about to surge, and I think they're going to take that division.
And Atlanta's won 11 in a row.
Mm-hmm. Phillies won 9 or 10 in a row since Girardi. They haven't lost since Girardi got fired.
Right.
Well, think about how it feels for Boston. They went 8-2 and still lost a game to the Yankees in the race. Because the Yankees are 9-1.
Yankees are not our problem. They're going to run away with the division. So
yeah, I think the problem is making that wild card, and not just making the wild card, but trying to get that home field advantage in the wild card.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Only-
right now,
only
I can see
one
the
team gets
possibility.
the home field advantage from the wild card.
I can see the possibility of 4 teams out of the American League East making the playoffs.
Yeah,
What did I
right
tell
now
you?
it's quite possible.
What
Highly
does
likely
that
right
tell
now.
you? That's crazy.
I don't see anybody else in the AL West coming around.
No.
No, AL West. I mean,
The
you got
Angels mysteriously
Angels 8.5 games out.
Yeah.
8.5 games out under 500. You know what I'm saying? What's happened to the Oakland Athletics? I don't think they can do anything in the second half this year to make up for a 21-41 start.
Oakland's only averaging I think they said 12 to 15,000 a game right now at home. So
Well, shit, their offense is only worse than the Detroit Tigers.
yeah, Tigers.
They have 206 runs. Can you imagine the Detroit Tigers have played 59 games this year and have 162 runs?
Yeah,
That's pathetic.
it is pathetic.
It's the Tigers.
It's the Tigers.
my
It's right.
Hey, it's the Tigers, but they're still not worse than Kansas City, even though
When the
Kansas City,
Tigers are good, they're very good. But when they're bad, they stink.
well, they've been very bad a lot lately. So,
They have been.
and with Miguel Cabrera declining, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think the Carlos Correa thing made any impact whatsoever for them.
No.
When they lost Verlander and the core of their pitching staff, that was pretty much it for the Tigers.
That was it.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Looking up and
realize
down
we're
the
losing. After the season's over, we're losing both Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols, two of the greatest hitters in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to retire after this year.
Well, if you ask Pujols, he's a great pitcher too.
Yeah, right.
I mean, in the East, it's Mets and Braves. I think.
Mets are going to run away with that division the way they're going.
You know what? As long as Atlanta is still kicking, they're only 5 games out. With as good as the Mets have been, they're only 5 games behind the Mets. Okay. They're going to meet a lot, the Braves and the Mets, throughout the season. They still got a lot of baseball to play. So I wouldn't guarantee that the Mets are going to run away, although, again, it's all in the management. And I think that Buck Showalter has definitely created a sense of winning baseball in Flushing Meadows.
He's done that everywhere he's been.
He's incorporated a win-win-win attitude, and all the players buy into his philosophy.
I mean, he
And
even made
that's
Baltimore
what you
look
got
good
to
when he
do
was in
as a
Baltimore.
manager. I don't know what the hell Aaron Boone is doing, okay, but the Yankees are definitely making him look better than what he
Well,
actually is.
when you got a team of cannons that are firing at will right now, and a pitching staff that's shutting everybody down,
It makes
he's
his
not
job a
having
lot
to
easier.
push many buttons.
Well, yeah, and then you got two of your almost everyday players that are batting under 200, like
Yeah.
Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo. You know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
don't have a prime all-star catcher behind. What do you got? Trevino and Higashioka?
That's it.
You don't have a catching core. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
they're
saying?
better than what they had. They're better than Sanchez was.
Well, that's because Sanchez was all or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
But
These guys are more singles hitters.
How much
than anything
managing did Joe Torre have to do in the early 2000s, late 90s,
not
early
much.
2000s? You
Well,
guys
that's
step back and
because they
watch them
provided
play.
him with they provided him with the weapons.
Exactly. That's what
You know what I'm
Boone's
saying?
doing this year.
But Joe Torre had a great philosophy too.
I'll get to that if I
That's
can,
just
Brett.
it. A great approach towards the game, and people bought into Joe. You know, but it's like you look at Girardi. Girardi didn't get with the Yankees until the analytics thing started to become,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, a cumbersome thing. You know, I don't know how much analytics Aaron Boone is doing this year, but right now, any one of us could manage that team. and they'd
Not
be
rocket
content.
science. Just let them go.
Let them do
Brett-
what they do.
I'm going to change the subject here. Brett brings up a good question for a change. Brett has a good question about my thoughts on Jay Monahan suspending
The LIV.
the LIV players,
Mhm.
namely Phil Nicholson, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, Louis Oosthuizen, Kevin Na, and Dustin Johnson. You've got some Hall of Famers in that list.
Is that a Roger Goodell move?
No, I
necessarily.
actually think it was
You
the
like
best
the
thing
move?
for the best. It was the best thing for golf, to be honest.
Okay. What
Um,
is the LIV, by the way? I have
it
no
is,
fucking
it is, the LIV is actually sponsored by the leader of
Saudi
Saudi
Arabian
Arabia.
Saudis.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, it's a
Hell no.
Saudi Arabian funded golf league
Mhm.
with the guy who had Jamal Khashoggi killed.
Yeah,
leading
and them
the way.
motherfuckers were responsible for 9/11. I don't give a fuck what
Well,
anybody
yeah,
says.
because
Yeah.
the
Plus
pilots
all
were
the human rights
Saudi.
violations.
They could pass it off saying them motherfuckers were guilty of
Well,
9/11.
this is the reason why the winner of the first tournament this week in London walked away, and that was I think it was Louis, as a matter of fact. Walked
I
away
think so.
with over $4 million
Mhm.
for winning the tournament alone. This week, the Canadian Open, where
Rory McIlroy won today.
walked
Mhm.
out with 1.4 million. So they're going for the money. The prize
Yes.
money
Of
is
course.
2 or
And
3
it's blood
times.
money
Isn't
too.
that what it's all about now?
It is
Money.
blood money.
It is 2 or 3 times more than the PGA, but like Ken just said, it's blood money.
It
These
is.
guys have no business doing that because of the controversy surrounding the sponsorship of that tour.
Trust me, I don't approve of WWE being in cahoots with Saudi Arabia either.
Right.
Okay, doing events over there and making it seem like this is a great country and they're all about America. Bullshit. They're buying out. They're buying their ways into American businesses.
Yes, they are.
They are.
And I'm in favor of. No, I don't think it's going to
No.
hurt our events, Brett.
Well, wait a minute. Let me preface that. Number one, the Open Championships, the U.S. Open and the Open Championship in Britain, are not PGA events, so they
The
are
only one
open to
that is,
everybody. They
neither
can
is
bring
the
them back.
Masters.
There's nothing Monahan can say or do.
No, neither is the Masters. The Masters
Right,
is not associated
right.
with the PGA either. Okay,
Let me
the
say
PGA
this.
Championship is.
Right.
Look, we
You
don't
gotta
need
remember-
turncoats in the
You have to
PGA.
remember something.
We don't need turncoats in any freaking
Oh, I know.
American organization.
But let me say something. You have to remember who runs the Masters.
Augusta National.
Augusta National. And who runs Augusta National? A bunch of Georgia rednecks.
Yep.
and they are not going to.
A bunch of trumpeteers.
Yes, and they are not
Okay.
going to,
Deny
be real
guys
receptive
playing, right.
to anything that's got anything to do with Saudi Arabia.
And,
Correct.
and,
So
and
Curtis
and
Strange,
Trump is,
Curtis Strange was
and
on
Trump
ESPN
is
Radio
in,
yesterday.
Trump is in
He-
so
Hang on,
deep
hang on,
in
Elliot,
Saudi
hang on.
Arabia.
Curtis Strange was on ESPN Radio yesterday on the Marty McGee show, and he went off on these guys. I mean, he said it flat out. They're doing it for the money. He pretty much said what I said is blood money, and he said that but they're going to follow. Monahan is going, and the rest of the tournaments are going to follow whatever the Masters do, because the Masters is the number one tournament in the world. And so whatever Masters decides to do, that's what everyone else will fall in. And that will go to the PGA Championship and the US Open. Now, Open Championship, British Open, who knows what they're going to say, but I don't think they are any big friends of the Saudi. So, but it's going to come down, as far as the United States is concerned, it's going to come down to what whatever the Masters guys decide to do.
I'm sorry, but I just can't condone it being in any kind of partnership with a country that has a terrorist murderer as their leader.
Yes.
Plain and
And
simple.
I'll be totally honest. I'm a big Phil Mickelson fan. I am very, very disappointed in what he's decided to do. I don't know what's going on in his head. It's not like he needs the money. Well, I say he doesn't need the money. From what I've heard, he's got a bunch of $1 million gambling debts.
Yeah, he's got
so that he may need the money.
Yeah.
As far as Sergio, Lee Westwood, Oosthuizen,
He can't keep up with American. He can't keep up with the American tournaments anymore either.
Well, I mean,
51 years old, Elliot. He's
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So he's selling out. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, they're sellouts.
Well, he did win the PGA Championship last year, so I mean,
Yeah.
he did win that.
They're still
And
sellouts.
he will be able to defend it.
No, he wasn't able to defend it this year because he was banned from playing. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
He was invited to play. He was allowed to play because he's a defending championship, but he decided to step back from golf. He didn't play. That's what the reason was.
Sellout.
So I mean, yeah, and Brett, like I said, I'm 100% behind the PGA commissioner on this, and Bryson DeChambeau, who I don't like him anyway. He's also
he went too.
Yeah, he did too, as did Patrick Reed
and Pat Perez.
Pat Perez, yeah, Pat Perez is a tour favorite among a lot of fans.
So he's a sellout too.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of DeChambeau or Patrick Reed. I think they're both cocky.
It's all about the fucking money, dude.
Okay. Did they only play 3 rounds in this tournament in London?
Yeah, it's only a 54 holes, and they played Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
They only played 3 rounds, and they're giving away $4 million. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't think any true-blooded American likes the fucking move, yo.
But yeah, Brett. No, I'm in favor of Monahan doing what he did.
I don't even know the circumstances. I don't know who the
It's a smack in the face to the PGA Tour. It's a smack in the face to golf in general.
Right.
Because these racist and terrorist people have no business in the world of sport. I'm done with it. I mean, Saudi Arabia. Now I know we're friends with Saudi Arabia because of the oil issue, that we get a lot of our oil from them, and that's why we try and make nice with them. But
but we're still paying $5, $6, $7 a gallon for gas, right? So what fucking favors are they doing us?
Well, they're not doing anybody any favors.
They're fucking charging outrageous price for barrels of fucking oil.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as they're keeping up the human rights violations, and this is going to be blood money.
Yeah.
And
that's all it is blood money.
Yep. All right, I got nothing else. What about you guys?
Congrats to Rory McIlroy for winning the Canadian Open. I think it's back-to-back medals for him.
Real quick,
So you do have something else.
1 second. Yes, hang on a second. Oh, who was it? Dang it. Was it an NFL player? There were 5 players, 5 soldiers.
Oh yeah, one of them was Steve Sachs' son.
Steve
Yeah.
Sachs'
Well, they
son.
were killed in an Osprey accident in California, and Steve,
Yes.
one of the victims was the kid of Steve Sachs. From our-
33-year-old son of Steve Sachs.
That really hurts us around here too, because the Osprey is made here at General Dynamics.
Right.
And, yeah, that's very, very tragic. I'm very sorry to hear that. And my thoughts and
Steve
prayers
Sachs,
go out to
Dodger
Sachs'
great,
family.
and the nerds.
Well, God bless. You know what? God bless him, and much appreciation
Yep.
for serving our country. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, he died in the service of this country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a training exercise, but yeah, still, it was in the service of the
Right.
country. You're right.
Plain and simple, he was a soldier.
Yep. And am I the only one who thinks that
Jack Del Rio's an asshole.
Nope, he's always
I
been
would.
an asshole.
I would not be the bit surprised to see him resign before August. He's already dropped his.
He dropped his Twitter account. Yeah.
He was fined $100,000. I
Yep.
think he accepted it, but I don't think he's going to be.
Who
coaching.
y'all got in the 2 out of 3 series between Boston and Golden State?
Golden State.
Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State.
Me too. Why? Because I fucking hate Boston. Move around.
I hate the Celtics. I don't hate Boston, but I hate the Celtics.
Okay, I hate
By the way,
all things
I got
Boston.
one last thing. This
I got
is
nothing
the-
against people in Boston, just teams.
Right.
Right.
11th anniversary of the Dallas Mavericks beating the hell out of the Miami Heat in Game 6 and winning the championship.
I actually rooted for the Mavericks.
Glad. But that was glorious. That was sweet revenge. That was sweet as cane sugar, is what I said. Pure cane sugar.
Yeah,
And,
Brett, and I bet you they're getting discount on gas too.
Yeah, right. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up for another week of the Sports Nerds. Thanks again to my co-hosts, Mr. Elliot Big E Lamba, Ken Koslow, and, of course, John G. Olson. And a special thanks to Ron Gallo for showing up. We are the Sports Nerds. We'll be back again next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. And on behalf of everybody, enjoy your week. And, Elliot, play the outro.
Nerd Nation, another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we're actually still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? John Olson, Ken Koslow, 2 of our lower members in the brand pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we want to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing, and for heaven's sake, please wear a blessed mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rank Pack, and that, fellas, we are